It is not. It comes with finance. It comes with care. It comes with love. It comes with fairness. It comes with children. And it is a lot of headache. So if you have the patience and tolerance, do it. And the money, sorry. Money is very important. If you don't, wallahi akhi, be pleased and satisfied with what you have. Because it is not something easy. So I'm not advocating and I'm not defending, I'm not stopping. A lot of the brothers, as the sisters call and tell me, they say, my husband in the morning, in the afternoon, and before we go to bed, he tells me I'm going to get married. I'm going to get married. And this has been going for the past 10 years. And nothing happened. The Prophet says, alayhi salatu wasalam, إِنَّ اللَّهَ كَتَبَ الْإِحْسَانَ عَلَى كُلِّ شَيْءٍ. Allah has decreed that you make ihsan on everything. فَإِذَا ذَبَحْتُمْ فَأَحْسِنُوا الذِّبْحَ. So if you slaughter an animal, make it quick. وَلْيُحِدَّ أَحَدُكُمْ شَفْرَتَهُ. And you should sharpen your blade. وَلْيُرِحْ ذَبِيحَتَهُ. And you should comfort your sacrifice. Now this is in regard to what? To sacrificing. Akhi, if you want to get married, do the same. Don't kill your wife every single night. I'm going to get married. I'm going to get married. And she has to be beautiful. She has to be thin. She has to look nice. She has to do this. Everything that is not in your wife, you're saying to her, no, haram. This is haram and unacceptable. You will not ever agree to your son-in-law to do this with your daughter. Or to your brother-in-law to do this with your sister. So likewise, do not do it. If you have to do it, plan it, do it in your head. Once it's going to be done next week, tell her, I love you. I do love you, but I have to get married. This is Allah's right to me. And no one is asking, why are you getting married? No one is supposed to. Why? Is your wife ugly? None of your business. This is personal. Does she have any problems, health problems? Why does do I have just to justify myself when I get married? In my invitation card, I say I'm getting married to my second wife. My first wife has the following: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Just so that you can come? No. So, but I know most of you, inshallah, will not do this. But just in case you think of doing it, it is not an easy thing. And if you want to do it, don't torture your wife. Conditions. The acceptance of her guardian. Now, if she accepts but the guardian does not accept, the marriage does not take place. In England, or in English they say it takes two to tango. Of course, tangoing is haram, except between a man and his wife on nasheed without any duf. Yeah, you can do this, but you cannot dance on music. Music is haram. You cannot dance with someone else, and you cannot do this. So, if a man proposes to a girl, she accepts, the father refuses, marriage is not void, it should be stopped. The opposite. The guardian approves, the girl refuses. It should be stopped. It cannot be forced. They both have to agree. There are circumstances that can be overridden in regards of the approval of the guardian. When is that? If he performs what is known as adl. Adl is to refuse without any justification, or without any legitimate justification, that is. So if a father refuses his daughter to get married to a man because he wants her to work and to support him, this is adl. If he refuses a man, though he is from the same culture, from the same sect, but because his beard is long, and a lot of marriages were postponed or cancelled because of this, and the sisters write to me, then again, yes, this is adl. And a woman has the right to go against her father if the man is God-fearing, is good, and if her father is continuously refusing. But I got an email a few months back from a girl who is 17 years old. And she says that, and she started her mail like saying, Sheikh, I would like to go and complain about my father to the Qadi because he's refusing my marriage to this man. And she describes the man. She's from India and he's from Pakistan. I believe this is a big problem here. So she says, I'm going to complain to the Qadi because he's of a different sect. He's from Pakistan and my father is refusing to give me in marriage to him. Does she have the right? No. Why? She's young. She's 17 and this is the first man to propose. When would the father be doing adl? When 5 come or 10 come? Is whistling from me? Okay. So if this is what's happening, if he stopped or rejected 5 or 10 people, yes. But if it's the first one or the second one, and legitimate reasons, he's afraid that if he gives his daughter for marriage, maybe he will go back to his country and then they would abuse her because she is from that country or from that country. By the way, the email came from England. And they originally are from, and the boy is originally from. But they live in England, they're British, yet they still have this jahiliyyah in them. If it's a country and a country, it's understandable. But if you're in the same country and you've been living there and you'll still live there for the rest of your life, this is unacceptable. So the guardian has to accept and approve the person proposing. However, not anyone can fit the description of guardian. There is a list of conditions for a person to be a guardian. For example, he has to be sane. So if your guardian is insane, if your father is 120 years old and he doesn't know the directions, he doesn't know who you are. Sometimes, you know, with these diseases, Alzheimer and etc., may Allah protect us all and our parents and our loved ones. If some of my friends call and say, my father has reached this age. I come to the room and I say, my father, everything is fine. He said, who are you? And I say, I'm your son. I say, what's your name? He doesn't know. So can this one give in marriage? No, he does not have his sanity. Also, he has to reach the age of puberty. A woman came and says, Sheikh, I have no guardian. I'm a Muslim, revert. My parents are kafir. And the only Muslim in my family is my 7 years old boy. Can he become my wali? The answer is no. Can he become her mahram in traveling? No. He did not reach the age of puberty. A lot of the sisters ask the same question. I have my brother, he's 13 years old. I'd like to travel with him from here to Mumbai. Is it possible? Is it permissible? One of the sisters asked me a question on my Facebook, I think 3 days ago, saying that she lives 4 hours away from Chennai and she would like to come and attend the course. But she does not have a mahram. Her brother will take her to the train station and someone else would receive her in here. Is this permissible? And I said, yes, if it's my course, it's okay. No, it's not. It is not permissible for a woman to travel without a mahram. This is the fatwa from the Prophet. It's not from my pocket. Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. He is the Prophet. Alayhi Wasallam is the one who gave this fatwa. So the age of puberty is important. You cannot travel with an 8 or 9 years old child. But he would or she would be something to break the seclusion. So if I want to go into a taxi, she says, and I have my 9-year-old child with me, is this okay? Or am I being alone with the taxi driver? The answer is, it is okay. Though he or she did not reach the age of puberty, but they are sensible, they can hear and listen, and they can understand if anything fishy is taking place. So yes, they break the seclusion. Sisters are not liking this. Anyhow, freedom. He has to be free. Nowadays, everybody is, alhamdulillah, free. But before, it was a possibility that the guardian is a slave and his daughter is free. So in marriage, can he become her guardian? The majority of scholars say no. And some scholars say yes, because if he is sane and caring, the decision might be his, because he would care for his daughter and he would only accept those who are good for her. But the majority of scholars say no, he does not have the right to make decisions for himself. Does a slave have rights to make decisions for himself? No. Can a slave buy and sell for himself, make trade? No, because he belongs to his master. So I am the master. He wants to go for Hajj. He doesn't have any Hajj. If he was freed, he has to make his Hajj for Islam as a free man. But as a slave, he has no Hajj. Jum'ah, no Jum'ah. Sit. So I sell him and I buy him. He's my slave. Also, he has to reach the state of, what is this? He has to be wise and mature. In Arabic, it's called rushd. He has to reach the stage of rushd. Does anyone have the name of Rashid here? Huh? Rashid means wise and mature. And this is a condition required in most forms of transactions and also in the form of worships. What is meant by mature and wise is being able to select and choose the right thing. And that is why if a man does not have this in him, his transactions are void. If a man is not mature and wise, we all know that he spends unwisely and he wants to go and buy something, scholars say that the contract is void. And he's called safih. He spends without any recognition, without any thinking. And likewise, in getting, a lot of men are like this, unfortunately. Someone talks to him, he meets him in a restaurant, and he says, Sheikh, give me your daughter in marriage. He said, it's yours. Do you know the man? No. Do you know his name, what he does? No. How do you accept? He said, I'm a man. He requested something, I give it to him. This means that he is not mature in that wise. That's why he cannot give that in marriage. He has to be male. Male as in M-A-L-E, not in M-A-I-L. Huh? Someone says, no male. Male means that if a woman is separated from her husband, and this happens a lot. A woman is divorced since 20 years. She raised her only girl and she loves her more than her life. And someone proposes to the girl. So the woman refuses to take the approval of the father. They've been separated for 20 years. The girl herself does not care about her father. He didn't ask for her for 20 years. And the mother says, I will be responsible for the marriage processions. I am the guardian. I will give my acceptance. Is this permissible? The guardian has to be male. And he has to be from the same religion. So, a revert sister who embraced Islam and accepted it, alhamdulillah, a brother proposes. So we say, okay, akhi, stop here. We will have to go and seek the approval of the guardian. She says, my father is Hindu. Okay, your grandfather, he's Sikh. MashaAllah, tabarakallah. Do you have any brothers? Yes, one Christian, one Jew. What is this? Any Muslim relative of yours? She says, no. No Muslim relatives. Does she seek the approval and consent of her father? A lot of the revert sisters live with their fathers. They live with their families, and their families are very good to her. When it comes to marriage, she says, I cannot get married until my father approves of it. You have no right to do this. Your father has no right on you at all, because he is not Muslim. So what could I do? You go to the Muslim judge in your community. The Muslim judge, he becomes your guardian. And he says that this man is suitable or not. Sheikh, we live in America, we don't have any Muslim judge. What to do? Go to the Islamic center, the biggest Islamic center that is respected, and go to the Imam, and the Imam assumes the position of your guardianship. The Prophet says, alayhi salam, the Sultan, the ruler, is the guardian to those who do not have guardians. طيب, in our courts here, Hanafi school of thought, we come and say, we don't have a guardian, and the judge say, you are your own guardian. So can I marry myself? The answer is, the Prophet says, in the authentic hadith, لا نكاح إلا بولي. There is no marriage valid without a wali. So you have to, Tab Sheikh, okay, let me ask this question. Sisters, who married without a wali? No, don't be shy. MashaAllah, they're all Shafi'i. Okay. I know that there are, because I get a lot of emails. What to do if a woman married without a wali? If she believes that this is acceptable to her madhab and the madhab of her husband, and they believe and follow this school of thought and not to beat around the bush, some scholars say that the marriage is correct. However, it is extremely important to just theoretically make it again. By the husband who has been married for 20 years, going to her guardian, her father, her brother, and telling him, give me your sister or your daughter in marriage, and he says, okay, 2 witnesses are there, khalas. Just to be on the safe side. But if one wants to initiate it, no. The marriage is void. This is unacceptable. Because the Prophet's ﷺ words come in front, come ahead of any school of thought as Muslims. One of the most controversial conditions is that he is trustworthy. And what is meant by trustworthy? In Arabic it's called adalah. He has to be trustworthy. If you go to the books of fiqh 200 or 300 years ago, you will find that none of us is considered to be trustworthy. Imagine, one of the things that makes a person not trustworthy is to eat a sandwich in the street. 400 years ago, it used to be considered part of the things that a person's testimony would be rejected. If you eat a sandwich in the street. Why? Because say this is unworthy of someone trustworthy. This is something that only low people do. Nowadays, can we apply this condition? McDonald's will sue us. KFC will kill us. Everybody's eating in the street. So nowadays it's okay. 500-600 years ago, to be like this would not be acceptable. You have to wear a cap. You have to wear a turban. Nowadays, it has nothing to relate to Islam, because the Prophet did not do it, ﷺ, or actually he did not instruct us to do it. So why should I cover my head? I'm not a woman. I can go like this in public. And nowadays, the scholars say part of being trustworthy is to abide by the Islamic law in your appearance. Because this is how I judge you. Do I know what you do when you go into your house and close your doors? No. So how can I classify you as being trustworthy or not? By Your appearance. So if someone is shaved, they say he's not trustworthy. Why? Because this is a clear disobedience to the Prophet ﷺ. If someone smokes, he's not trustworthy. If someone works in a bank, he's not trustworthy. Shaykh Ibn Uthaymeen says, if you apply this nowadays, none of us can be trustworthy. And he said, then this condition is not acceptable, because a lot of the time, shaving the beard has nothing to do with my love to my daughter. This is a sin by itself. But I have great love to my daughter, and hence I would only choose the best for her. So Shaykh Ibn Uthaymeen, and this is the most authentic, says that this cannot be measured precisely. So a person who smokes, a person who shaves his beard, a person who has sins that appear on his exterior does not affect his choice to his daughter. And hence, they consider it not to be as specific. I can propose to a girl and her father is working in a bank, interest-based. And I would not say, excuse me, uncle, please can you ask your son to come? You're not trustworthy. Or uncle, please stop smoking and then I can propose to you. Or uncle, no. As long as he cares for his daughter and he chooses the right thing for her, then alhamdulillah. Now we move on to the rights of the wife. The trick here is marriage. You have to understand this, huh? Marriage is built on two pillars. These are my pillars, not marriage pillars. One, to recognize your responsibilities and obligations. Two, to know your rights. Now, the gents and the ladies, they all know their rights. And this is all what they know. They never think of their obligations. They never think of their responsibilities. So this is devoted to who? Gents or ladies? No. This is devoted to the gents. Now this is the rights of your wife. You have to know them. You have to fulfill them. You have to honor them. And some of them are found in the characteristics of a husband. So you will find some duplication. But now this is what you have to put as a compass in front of you. When you want to treat your wife, learn your obligations. One, protect her from hellfire. This is your number one priority. How to do that? Gents, how do you do that? Teach her Islam. Good. More. They don't know how to protect her from hellfire because they're, scanning all the things they want. It's, no, this takes her to hell. This takes her to hell. This. What can I do? The first thing to protect her from hellfire is to take her out from my father's house, where she sits and mixes with my brothers. This takes her to hell directly, non-stop flight. I don't want this, so I'm not going to tell this to the sheikh. The second one, she has to cover, but if she covers, then how will she live with my brothers? And my mother will be angry. And whenever she puts the hijab, my mother says, always take the hijab, they're like your brothers. This takes her to hell. Mashi, come on. What else? She works in a mixed environment with men. She has friends, and this is a very quick way to hell. Forget this. I don't want her to pray Fajr, because if she prays Fajr on time, she's going to wake me up, and then I will not be able to go to sleep after Fajr, and I have to work at 9 o'clock. Yeah, okay. Everything is in your life is taking her to hell. Sheikh, can we change this? Well, I can't. Sorry. I cannot. With the price you're paying me? Maybe. Astaghfirullah wa atubu ilayh. Akhi, you have to come up with ways to protect your wife from hell. Are you doing this? Does Allah tell us to protect them from hell? What is the ayah? The sisters know it more than the brothers. Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu qu, protect anfusakum, yourself, wa ahlikum, and your families from hellfire. This is instruction of Allah Azza wa Jal, mentioned twice in the Quran, Surah Al-Baqarah and Surah Al-Tahrim. So you have to protect her from hellfire. And this is done by a number of things, a number of ways. The best is teaching her. But there is the second best, which is a must, is implementing it. Yani my wife, I could teach her Islam from A to Z. But if I don't practice, I am the first one to be thrown into hell. She'll follow.